Well, everyone, thanks for being here. Super awesome. I do see that we have a bunch of participants in the in here checking this out. So first off, I want to thank you, Justin, for bringing me on here and with your audience. I think this is going to be an incredible piece of lead generation, just mind-blowing stuff for all of you guys if you are focused on getting clients. Okay, this is one of the easiest ways that I can think of to be able to take on new clients on a consistent basis. The things that I'm going to run through all the stuff like why should you be listening to me very quickly, but let me just go ahead and get started here, and then we'll take it there. Okay, so tell me, Justin, if that's good. You guys can see my screen. Excellent.
Looking good.
Perfect. So let's get rolling here, guys. All right. So this training, we're going to run through fast. You guys heard me, right? So it's usually a 90-minute thing. So we're going to go through and get you going, right? So how to get 5 new clients in just 14 days. No ad spend, no complex tech or funnels, and without wasting your time. All right. So let's jump into it. Okay, so guys, why are you here? Well, because you love Justin, right? But ultimately, people jump on this training because they are wasting time prospecting manually and cold calling and doing all of that stuff, feeling trapped to their phone or computer, or you're losing money. Okay, so you're either spending thousands of dollars into the Facebook ads or Google system, and just it's not giving you the return on investment that you'd actually like to see, right? And also sucking up all your profits. Or ultimately, at the end of the day, you guys might have been doing this for months or years and trying to grow your marketing agency, and we still haven't dialed in a consistent, systematic, reliable way of taking on new clients. Okay, so if you've been trying to crack the code, like now, this is one system that absolutely, definitely works, and you can implement right after this training. You'll be able to implement. Okay, so by the end of this training, you're going to have access to unlimited right fit leads. And I know that for sure because I know I'm speaking to marketing agencies showing up in your inbox every single day. Okay. You can also replace all of your paid ads if you'd like to. You get better results and you can bank bigger profits. And on top of that, you're going to have a proven strategy that is fun and simple and easy to actually use that you or your team can do to get consistent new clients on a weekly basis. Okay. And if you guys stay to the end, I am going to drop you guys a awesome freebie that one of our clients have used to book 19 sales calls within a 24-hour time period. It's a simple direct offer script that you can send out to your existing network, and it will blow your mind. Okay, so if you are looking at your calendar right now for next week or the next 2 weeks and it looks kind of empty and you want to fill it up, stay to the end of this training. Okay. All right. So guys, why should you listen to me? My name is Franco. I'm the founder and creator of Pepper. This is a software that we've developed and that is a lead generation tool that you can use on Facebook to get clients. We've had over 4,000 entrepreneurs, marketing agencies, business coaches, business growth experts, and sales professionals everywhere under the sun, right? Virtually every niche under the sun use this thing and be able to get high ticket clients on a consistent basis. Okay. I've built multiple 7-figure businesses just using my Facebook profile. To date, we've made over $3 million from my personal Facebook profile alone. So I will fast forward in time and answer that question about like, hey, should I be using automation on my Facebook profile? Well, I want you to know that I built this software for me and not for anyone else, right? And because I built it for me, I said, hey, I can never get my Facebook banned or restricted or, anything like that, right? So it has to work for me. And if it works for me, and I'm like the OG tester of this thing, right? And I've never been banned, all that stuff. And no one has ever been banned or lost their profile, okay? It can work for you as well, all right? And not only that, we've helped multiple entrepreneurs build their businesses and their agencies using Facebook profiles as well. Okay. So DeMarcus, I'll just run through this. In 18 months, he's got using this system that you're about to learn. He went from 0 clients to 44 clients across the country, over $100,000 a month doing this system. Okay. And I asked him this question, right? I said, how much money total would you say you've worked specifically getting clients specifically through your Facebook profile? And then he says close to 90% of total sales. He did the math. 90% of that is $1,038,000. Crazy to think about. You can do this from your Facebook profile. Isn't it wild? That's kind of wild. Okay. Brad Akers, very similar. I asked him the same question. In 8 months, using this system that you're about to learn, he went from 0 to $80,000 a month in his agency. I asked him the same question. How much money would you say you made total getting clients specifically through your Facebook profile? He said, shrugs his shoulder. He's like,
I love the casual. I love the casual nature of that.
Right? Probably like 2 mil, right? So I love that. It's like shrugs his shoulders. It's just like, oh yeah, I don't know, dude. So anyway, guys, my promise to you is that I know what it takes to win. I know how to get clients. And over this next hour and some, I promise to do whatever whatever it takes to help you win too. Okay, so here we go. My quick short story, okay, that we have to get through, so be like, to inspire you to understand the belief, to instill the belief in you that this is possible for you. Okay, just 6 years ago, I was working as a warehouse lead at Uline, making $23 an hour. And we had bonuses at Christmas time, things like that. It was the golden handcuffs. They pay you just enough to get by, never enough to get ahead, right? And if that was my prison, these were my prison clothes. This was a picture that was taken from my wife the day that I actually quit my job. So I have in my pocket here a resignation letter, right? So I was going here, and it was so funny because to get here, to the point where I'm about to quit my job, I had worked there for 3 years. Okay. And then in a matter of a couple weeks, something changed in me. I had my eyes open to opportunity. I came across Ty Lopez. You guys are very familiar with Ty Lopez, I'm sure. And he had, back in 2017, he had a course that he was selling, SMMA, Social Media Marketing Agency, how to start up a digital marketing agency. And I was like, I just devoured it. My first $9.97 purchase online, I just devoured it all. Okay. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Right. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be rich. So I got so excited. I got so into it that like just a few weeks later, you know what did it? It was the movie Moana that weekend. So this is Monday. That weekend before, like I was watching Moana with my kids and stuff like that. And then she's like, the open ocean is calling her, but she's stuck on her safe island. I don't know if you know the movie or not, right? But then eventually she goes out into, and so my open ocean was the world of entrepreneurship. I'm like, there's something out there for me. I can't stay in my little safe island of this, warehouse, right? And so I made the decision to quit, and I'm blasting that morning. I was actually blasting Moana soundtrack, going to the going to my job and then I handed the resignation letter. So when you quit Uline, what happens is they kick you out the same day, right? So they kick you out the same day. So I'm back in 2 hours, but then my entrepreneur journey starts, right? And so when you leave, you get the option. I worked there for 3 years, and I had $18,000 saved in my 401k. Okay. So they give you the option to liquidate it or to keep it and to roll it over. I decided to take all the cash. I said, give me all the cash. Now I actually have 18 grand in my bank account. And I'm like, yo, we're already rich. This is awesome. Right. I was like, how can I fail? Right. I'm smart. How can I fail? I got 18 grand. Like, of course I can do this. 4 months later, I blew through all of that money. I had a wife, 2 car payments, 2 kids, and I blew through all the money. I was down to my last $1,000. I did cold calling, everything that the course taught me to do, cold calling, cold emailing, door knocking, all these different things. I couldn't land a client. Okay. And it messed with me. Like I was freaking out. So every single week that went by, I didn't get a client. I was just freaking out. And my financial anxiety was going through the roof. And I was like, oh my gosh, rejection after rejection after rejection. And one night I was lying down with my son, putting him to sleep, and he has these green glow in the dark stars on his ceiling, and I'm just putting him to sleep, and I was freaking out. I was having a panic attack. My heart was racing. It was beating on my chest. I thought I was going to wake him up, and I was afraid to get out of bed. And I was like, I have to tell Haley what's going on. Haley's my wife. I had to tell her what's going on. She didn't even know what was going on with the money. She just trusted me. Like, okay, we're doing this, right? And we just kept paying the bills. Okay, but it was coming out of that $18,000. So I go downstairs to the basement and I tell her, and I'm like, maybe I made a mistake. We messed up. I probably quit way too soon, all this stuff. And I blew through the 18 grand that we had. We have $1,000 left. Immediately, she grabs me by my wrist, pulls me down to the ground, and starts praying, right? Starts praying for me and for us. And then when we open our eyes, we said, what are we going to do? So we got 2 options. One, we go and get another job, and I go and trap myself into another warehouse, or I decide to live off of credit cards. We live off of credit cards until this thing works out. So I made a commitment to her. I made a promise to her. I said, I will go up to, and not $1 more, I will go up to $100,000 in credit card debt. If I go to $100,000 in credit card debt and we are still not quote unquote successful, then that'll be it. I'll never spend another dime on this entrepreneur journey, and I'll live the rest of my life. We'll stay in this house and just pay that thing off for the rest of our lives. Okay. Or we're going to make it. Right. And then we prayed again. And then she said, okay, let's do it. So now we're in for ride of life. So look, I had $1,000 left in the bank account. Guess what I spent it on? There's more beyond the reef. I love that, Richard Sargent. So that's awesome, Wes. I know Moana better than I know business. That's hilarious. So then what do? What do I spend my last $1,000 on? going to Funnel Hacking Live. Has anyone ever been to Funnel Hacking Live? Just type a 1 in the chat if you've ever been there, right? And type a 2 if you haven't yet. But I went to Funnel Hacking Live that very first time, and I was a huge Russell Brunson fanboy at that time. We were watching his YouTube channel, all these different things, right? And so I'm sitting in the audience. That year that I went there, a month before, he was at Grant Cardone's 10X event conference, and that's when he broke the world record for making the most amount of money from a stage. He made $3 million from the stage at Grant Cardone's office or Grant Cardone's event. Then a month later, at his own event, he broke the world record again, his own world record that he set a month prior. And he made $12 million in 90 minutes. Okay, $12 million. I was there at that event. And when he was pitching me, when he was pitching all of us, I texted my wife, who was back at home, and I said, baby, Russell's pitching us. There's nothing I can do, right? And I'm like, I don't know. There's nothing I can do. She texts me back and she's like, how much is it? And he didn't get to the price yet. I'm like, oh my gosh, I definitely can't afford. I'm broke, right? I've got no cash in the bank now. I've got no income coming in. Like, I can't afford it. And then he drops the price, and it's $1,800 a month. $1,800 a month. Bear in mind, guys, my mortgage costs $1,200 a month. Okay, my mortgage is $1,200. And when he dropped that on me, I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't afford it. So what I ended up doing, I texted her, and then she just responds back with, I trust you, baby. Right. And so when she said, I trust you, baby, I got up out of my seat, ran to the back, handed him my credit card, made that first swipe. And then what happened was, now I'm in debt, right? And I just joined this coaching program. So luckily for me, and this is going to all tie into what we're about to learn today, but luckily for me, he was talking about publishing that year. And he says, just publish, put out content, put out content, put out content. And so that's what I did. I went on Facebook Lives. I had like 200 friends on my friends list at that time. And I went on Facebook Lives and I just said, I just joined Russell Brunson's coaching program. I'm doing this, all these different things, right? Like, come along with me. And I created a simple 2-page funnel, an application funnel. And I said, hey, if you want to come along this ride with me, then just book a call with me, all that stuff. So for that week, I just kept doing Facebook Lives, Facebook Lives, Facebook Lives. We ended up convincing 10 people to book a call with me for the Monday and Tuesday when I got back. That was in Florida. I live in PA. So now I fly back to Pennsylvania. Monday comes around, right? And Tuesday comes around. By Wednesday, I closed 7 people on a $12,000 program. And I made $84,000 6 days after I gave Russell my credit card. Okay. That's what happened. From that, I closed 7 out of those 10 people. Okay, $12,000. I made $84,000 in 6 days. Okay, it was wild, right? Since that time, I haven't looked back. We've refined the process over and over again. Like I mentioned earlier, we've made $3 million so far from my personal Facebook profile, selling marketing agency and consulting services. Okay, so that's how I got here. Why does this have to do with you? Well, one, I wanted you to understand, like, if I can do it, you can do it too. Okay. And 2, I want you to see that this is a real possible thing. And I'm going to show you what happened. What was the difference between what I did and how did I replicate it, right? So when I made 84 grand in 6 days, it was all from my Facebook profile. So I thought to myself, how do I do that again? Right? Like, let's just keep doing it and doing it and doing it, right? So then I remembered, what did he say? He said, do all these Facebook Lives. So I was doing the Facebook Lives. I started to get better and better at it, right? And I continued to do it. People started to share it, so on and so forth, right? And then Franco's a beast, multimillionaire. You really inspire me. Afraid to take notes because I run out of ink. Awesome posts, like all these different things, right? And then people, look at this, Stephen, he says, makes sense. I got my money goals along with the amount needed to join your coaching, right? Do you see that? People saw my Facebook Lives and then they were reaching out to me. So I did it again and I did it again and I did it again. And what I realized was, when I did my Facebook Lives, people would start to DM me through Messenger. And I was like, okay, this is working, right? But then I thought, how do I turbocharge this thing, right? How do I make this thing faster and better, right? And that's when I discovered Facebook groups. One thing to know about me is that when I get excited about something, right, I will just run up and down, find my wife wherever she is, jump with her wherever we are, right, and say, we're going to be rich. You know what I mean? So that's what happened. When I discovered Facebook groups, I did that same thing. I was like, wait a second. Like, I just had 200 random people on my friends list. So these Facebook groups are filled with people that could potentially use my services. So I did what I did back then. and I got kicked out of a whole bunch of Facebook groups trying to spam it and do all these different things. And everything I was doing on my personal profile, I would do in the Facebook groups. They'd be like, get the hell out of here, and they just kick you out, right? I know that now. That's the mistake I made earlier on, but I want to show you guys something. Okay. Facebook groups are here to stay. Okay. Back in 2017, there were only 100 million, what they consider active Facebook users in groups per month. Okay. 100 million people that were considered active, not that they joined a Facebook group, they were considered active. And so in 2019, just 2 years later, that quadrupled, 400 million active Facebook users, okay? And today, guys, it just keeps going up, okay? There's 1.8 billion people that are active in Facebook groups right now every single month. And so what does this mean? That means 1 out of every, how many billions of people are on the planet right now? I think like 8 billion, right? What this means is that 1 out of every 4 people walking this planet are hanging out and actively engaging inside of a Facebook group of some sort. That's crazy, okay? Facebook groups are here to stay, guys, okay? So what I did, what I ended up doing, I said, okay, how do I turbocharge this thing? So I would go into a Facebook group that I knew my dream clients were hanging out in, right? So I work with marketing agencies and business coaches. So I went into a group similar to this. High Level, you guys know what High Level is, official community, a software that a lot of agency owners use, okay? Just one example, there's a billion, right? So you go into members tab, and I would do this. I would sit by my bedside and I would just scroll up and down, up and down, up and down. And I would look for these individual profiles. And then I realized a pattern. I was like, some of them have optimized their profile and Facebook's putting it in here, right? So this guy says founder and managing director at No Filter Media. And I was like, wow, that's a keyword that would work. Media, right? What about Jacob? Client attraction coach. Coach is a keyword. Business owner, digital designs, marketing, right? Those are keywords. And I was like, okay, I noticed I was like skipping over this person. I would say, I'm going to add this person as a friend. I'm going to skip this person, so on and so forth. And I realized the common denominator was how they've optimized their profile and they've set up keywords. It's like badges. They're wearing badges that says, I'm your dream client. I was like, whoa, this is awesome. And so I sent them a friend request. And why was this important? Because I wanted more of the right people to see my content. If I send them a friend request, they're going to check out my profile. They're going to accept my friend request at the very least. And if they do that, then they're going to start to see more of my Facebook Lives, right? That just made perfect sense to me. Hopefully it does to you. Are you guys tracking me, right? You guys tracking me right now, my thought process on this? So then I thought, okay, well, I don't want to keep doing Facebook Lives every single day or hour or anything like that, right? Like that's a lot of work to plan and to get into it. I was like, I don't want to wait for them to reach out to me. So then I thought, what if I was the one to start the conversation? What if I started the conversation? What if instead of waiting for them to reach out to me, I was the one to reach out to them? So then I thought of this simple system right here. I was like, look, we're going into a Facebook groups, and there's only a certain people that we actually want to work with in that Facebook group. Those are the keywords. They would say, I'm going to send them a friend request, but what if I was the one to start the conversation? What if I reached out to them? And then let's see if they would respond back to me. And then if that conversation goes well, then maybe I can just simply invite them to a sales call, right? Thought it might work for me, but we put it into play. So I tried it, and guess what? It was actually working. I would send somebody a message, and just look at the date right here. So it's 2019. It shows you how long I've been doing this, right? So I've been sending somebody a message. Hey, Darren, thanks for connecting. I noticed we're in the same group together. How's your agency coming along? Losing a bit of money. He actually responded back. I sent that same message again to somebody else. Hey, thanks for the ad. Nice connecting you. It looks like you're crushing it in this space. What did that mean? He was checking out my profile. The only way he could determine to see if I was crushing it is for him to check out the profile and make a judgment call on who I was, right? And I was like, wow. So I'm still getting people to respond back to me. I'm still getting all these people to actually respond back. And I kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And people started to respond back to me, right? And they would start to open up. Okay. And you see all the conversations that was just going. And then I realized I started booking calls like crazy. So I would navigate the conversation. I developed a script that worked, right? I navigated the conversation. And then I would say the same things. I would just copy and paste it. Sweet. Okay, let's do this. How about I send you a link? You can check it out. And if you like everything you hear, then go ahead and schedule a call with me. We can talk through it. Does that sound good? Yeah, sounds great. Boom, booked call, right? Hey, okay, let's do this. Let me send you a link. You can check it out. If you like everything you hear, go ahead and schedule a call with me. We can talk through it. Sound good? Sure, sounds good. Booked call. right? Again, just copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. Sure, sounds great, sounds great. Yes, 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 let's do it. And I just started booking calls, right? So my calendar started to fill up, okay? And this is like, you can check out the dates here, right? It's like a full 4-week calendar, okay? Everybody that you see in blue here was a booked call using this method, okay? Using this method, me DMing them responding back, okay? And you can see we had on this Friday, we had 5 sales calls booked, right? For the Monday of, we had another 5 sales calls booked, right? We had all these calls that were happening every single month for me. And then pretty soon things start to get out of hand, okay? This is what my messenger ended up looking like. Okay, I don't know if you guys have ever tried organic marketing in the past or using something similar to what I'm showing you guys here now, but people respond back. You have a lot of conversations starting, right? And things start to get a little hectic, okay? And especially if you are tired from all the sales calls you're taking, you don't want to respond to people and so on and so forth. It's like this throttle. It's like, what are you doing? Prospecting or closing, prospecting and closing. You just have to respond back to these people. But when you don't respond back, well, guess what? You're throwing money out of the window, right? So I wasn't actually able to keep up with the lead flow. And my messenger looked like a complete mess, right? My leads were growing cold because I couldn't get back to them in time because I was so busy. And then when I stopped working or decided to take a day off, then the leads stopped flowing. When I stopped working, the leads stopped flowing, which was not a good thing, right? So then, guys, I tried to be more efficient. I tried to, dial things in, right? So what did I do? I ended up creating a whole bunch of sticky notes that look like this, okay? Just on your account, on my desktop, right? That I would copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste to people. So when they didn't know what a marketing agency was, right? I would copy and paste this message for them, right? When I was about to book the call, this is the script I would take them through, right? When they ghosted me, this is what I would use. And I would just copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste it, right? So then that's one of the ways I tried to be more efficient. The next thing I tried to do is to use a CRM to manage all of my leads. This is what mine looked like. I created these columns right here, and then I created these cards. Each of these cards was a prospect, okay, that I had started a conversation with, and then I was navigating through the sales pipeline, right? And then what you'd open up a card, and then we would take, so every single time you have a one-on-one conversation with somebody inside of Messenger, Messenger will give you a unique URL to that conversation. So if you click on it, it will open up the actual conversation you're having with a particular person inside of Messenger. So we would put that in the description of these cards, right? And click on it to see where they were in the conversation. And then we would update the card in the particular column that we were using on the sales pipeline, right? But because I was working inside of Messenger, and then because I had a different tab for my CRM, it was so hard to manage and to get, everybody, in track, especially because things happen very quickly inside of Messenger. You can start a conversation with somebody and then 5 minutes later have a booked call. So what are you going to do? Stop and just move them over constantly? It was delaying our work, right? So I said, okay, you know what? This is making us a lot of money, but it's taking up way too much of my time. So I'm going to have another human being do this. And therefore, I hired my assistant, Liz. So Liz was my executive assistant, and she was now the one operating inside of my profile, trying to manage this whole system. And you can see here, she's like, I sent him the video testimonials that he requested. She would type notes in there, all that stuff, right? And it got so crazy. I realized that everything I was trying to do was making things worse. And that's when I knew my system had a critical flaw. Okay, what was that flaw? The simple system that I had developed was becoming complex. Okay, it was becoming extremely complex to manage. And I realized that complex systems fail. So now I'm going to introduce you guys to something that is called systems reliability. Okay, now this is what, who was that above there that mentioned this? Richard said, at the very beginning, he said, Franco changed my life with his system reliability mindset. What he's talking about is what I'm about to share with you guys right now, okay? Now, this is one of the keys that you might be struggling with if you haven't gotten to where you want to go yet in business, right? If you're not there yet, probably one of the reasons why is because of a lack of understanding around this concept right here that I'm about to share with you. So if you've been glossing over, I know I talk fast, but if you've been like, glossing over everything up until this point, okay, this is where I want your ears to perk up and I want you to listen, because this could change your life just like it did with Richard, okay? So this is a concept that I learned from a guy much smarter than me. And I'll just let you guys know, I've spent $250,000 of my own money in different coaching programs and masterminds. Still to this date, this business concept is the thing hands down that has changed everything for me. Okay, so I'm going to share that with you guys. And it's called systems reliability. It comes from the world of ecology, which is the study of complex systems out in the natural habitat and environment. Okay, so let's break down the word. What does systems reliability mean? Okay, well, systems is one or two parts working together in tandem, working together to achieve an intended outcome. Can you see that your business is just a big system, right? Two or more parts working together to achieve an intended outcome, which is money in your pocket and free time on your calendar, right? That's what your business is, just a complex system, okay? So what does reliability mean then? Reliability means how often do we get the outcome that we expect? You flip a light switch, okay? That has a near 100% reliability rate, okay? You expect when you flip your light switch, the lights to come on, right? It happens 99% of the time, right? Unless the light bulb turns off. Make sense? Okay. So reliability is how often we get the outcome that we expect. And so when we talk about systems reliability, how often are we getting the outcome that we expect from any given system? Now it starts to become complex. Check this out. Systems reliability states that the reliability of any system is dependent on the individual parts that make up that system. So we need to agree something. For you to have this mind-blowing, aha, life-changing moment, we need to agree on something. Can we agree that nothing in life is ever 100% perfect? Right? Just type agreed in the chat if you can agree with me that nothing in life is ever 100% perfect. Okay? Nothing, right? So agreed. Okay, so go ahead and type that in there, guys. Okay, because if you don't agree to that, then this isn't going to make any sense for you. Okay, so nothing ever is 100% perfect. Well, what does that mean then? That means that we live in a world of fractions. Okay, because if 100% is absolutely perfect and nothing in life is ever 100% perfect, that means it's got to be less than, which is a fraction. Do you know what happens when you put fractions together and you try to get them to work together? When you multiply them together, you get a smaller fraction. Okay, you get a smaller fraction. So check this out. Let's talk about this system right here. This is our system, and there's only 5 parts to this system. Your business has way more, okay? But there's only 5 parts to this system right here. And if systems reliability states that the reliability of any system is dependent on the individual parts that make up the system, then when you have this one component A, let's call it, at 90% effectiveness, and then A, B, C, D, E, we have a component E at 50% effective, right? And a scale right here of varying levels of effectiveness. When you multiply them together, the outcome, how often you get the outcome you expect, is only 15% reliable. Okay, so what does this mean? There is a difference between 7-figure, 8-figure, 9-figure earners and entrepreneurs, and a difference between them and the 5- and 6-figure earners. The 5- and 6-figure earners, what they do is that they learn something new. They get inputs in their brain from a podcast they listened to, a YouTube channel they discovered, just a blog or inbox, someone sending an email, right? And they're like, wow, this is cool. This is new. Let me go and implement this. And what do? They add it to what they're already doing. They add more and more and more. And if we know that when you add things, and nothing in life is ever 100% perfect, what happens when you add more things? Even if it's 90% effective, look what happens to the reliability of the system. It goes down. The more things you add, even if you're great at it, you keep destroying your system, right? But when you start something new, are you great at it? No, right? More likely, you suck at it. And you can see how it destroys your system, right? So what do the 7-figure, 8-figure, 9-figure earners do? They methodically remove everything that is not working for them, and they focus only on one, and they focus on making things simple. and they focus only on one strategy that is intended to get them the outcome that they desire. And then all of their focus and energy and effort goes into making it better. And they just keep getting better and better and better at it. And it improves the whole entire system incrementally, right? Just keep getting better and better. And because nothing's ever perfect, right? There's always room to improve it. And you can see what happens to the overall system itself. So when you ask yourself, you say, hey, how come I can't get people on my calendar? How come I can't get new clients? Well, ask yourself, what are you doing? Are you doing Facebook ads and SEO and, lead generation, cold calling, cold emailing, PPC? You're doing like all these different things. You're going networking, you're doing BNI, you're all these different things. And you're just adding the complexity to your system. And then all of it is, can I say half-ass, right?
Go for it.
Yeah, so you know what I mean? Okay. So the idea is, guys, is to reduce what's not working and to improve what is. Okay. Now, this is a system that works, but the way that it's going to work is when you get to focus all of your attention energy into this. Okay. All right. Hopefully that made sense. Did that make sense? That I get the Justin right here, but does that make sense to you guys? Was this valuable for you to understand and see? Justin, what did I explain that properly?
Oh yeah, that was I loved it. Like it's one of those things I think that if people on this call weren't listening to anything before, if you just listen to that alone should give you the insight you need to kind of critique where you're at currently in your business before you even add anything additional. It's like, I think it's, most businesses, I think when they're thinking about growing, it's kind of drowning in opportunity or the potential of opportunity and distraction that leads to those issues. We see it all the time. And I think this, like, I'm a big sheets nerd. So seeing this, like how you put it together too, is just like, oh my gosh, like I need to do this more with even stuff we're doing. Because like we were overthinking it, overcomplicating it, when it's really coming down to how do you get good at a few things versus try to be okay at a bunch of different things. And that's just a really, really great mindset shift.
100%, right? And so when you think of, that's why that's where these cliches come from, the 7-figure, 8-figure earners and entrepreneurs. And it's like, I have a boring business. Why is their business boring? Your business becomes boring when it's no longer challenging, right? Why is it no longer challenging? Because all of the focus and effort and attention and energy they spent on making it good. They're really good at the few things that they do, and therefore their business becomes boring. But boring businesses make money. Okay? Does it make sense? All right. So there it is, guys. So that's what I learned. That was my valuable system. My valuable lesson is complex systems fail. So that's when I thought to myself, in order for this to work, it has to become simple again. Okay. That's when I decided to create Pepper. Okay. Pepper was born 2019, November 2019. We launched it, and now to the date, I mean, we're actually over 5,000 now. This just is an old slide. But anyway, over 5,000 entrepreneurs have actually used this. Okay. And the difference that Pepper has made in my business was absolutely mind blowing. Okay. And because when we made it simple again, right? Simple systems scale. All right. So let me show you what I mean. We're going to go back to that example right here. And then I'm going to show you the difference. Okay. Do you remember when we say you add more and more things, it makes things, complex? When I was doing it manually, right? I would have to send friend requests. I don't have to see who accepted. I would have to send welcome messages. This is all the time that I would take. I would have to manage the chats. I'd have to update my pipeline in that other CRM. I'd have to remove friends to make room for more people, right? And I would argue that I would do this, if I'm being lenient with myself, 70% of the time perfectly, right? 70% of the time would I actually do the things that I needed to do on a day in, day out basis, right? Like I was a machine or something, right? When we introduced Pepper, well, now it's a click of a button to send out friend requests. Now it's a click of a button to send out outbound messages and welcome messages, right? So can I click a button every day? Yeah, I can click a button every day. That's it, right? So she does all of the work of finding the leads and sending the friend requests and checking, all that stuff, right? And then all I had to do, the blue, is what I had to do. Pepper's the orange here. The blue is what I had to do, which is manage the chats and actually have real conversations with people, prospecting, the thing that I was good at and wanted to do. And then also updating our pipeline. But we no longer had to use a different CRM. We've created a CRM inside of Pepper that is directly overlaid inside of Messenger, so I can quickly tag people instead of opening up a new tab, finding them on which column they were at, and then scrolling to see that particular card so I can update those notes. You see what I'm saying, right? It took me, I could do that literally live when I'm speaking with somebody. And then also to remove friends is another button, right? So when I did that, I get to focus all this 70% energy and doing all that other stuff went into getting really good at these two things. And what did that do? It increased the overall reliability of this, and that's when our business exploded. Okay, it's because of that methodology, that philosophy, that business philosophy about systems reliability, simple system scale. Okay, so then we come back to this. I want to show you guys the math to success really quickly. 21 minutes, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You're hauling.
I'm hauling. So this is the math to success really quickly, and this is going to be a lot of fun for you guys to check out. Okay, so this is our simple client acquisition system, right? This is what we've developed. Okay, let me show you how the numbers work out. So Pepper will send out 30 outbound messages every single day. Okay, so over a 30-day rolling period, that means we're going to send out 900 outbound messages to what we say are the highest quality leads you can get off of any platform. Why do I say that? Well, one is because we know they're in the right Facebook groups, right? We're keyword heavy Facebook groups. We know based off of the context of the Facebook group that your dream clients are going to be hanging out there. The second thing is we're finding those keywords, right? Those keywords, they are a, HVAC, roofer, plumber, lawyer, real estate, whatever it is, right? Like we know that these people, because of the badges, how they've optimized their profile, that they're the right people. And the third thing is we're sending a outbound message to them and we're getting a lead generated response. It's so much better than an email because you're actually getting into a one-on-one conversation with another human being. And when they respond back to your outbound message, they're verbally affirming with their own lips. They're saying, yes, I am a roofer. What can I do for you? Right? So if it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, and it says it's a duck, chances are, yeah, right? I mean, these are pretty qualified leads is what I'm trying to get across here. Okay. So we're sending out 900 outbound messages every single month. Okay. So 30 times 30 is 900. Okay. So not everyone is going to respond back to you. Okay. If you got just a 30% response rate, okay, that means that you'll have 270 real live two-way conversations with your potential dream clients. So now out of those 270 conversations that you've started with them, two-way conversations, if you can convince just 2 out of every 10 people you speak to jump on a call with you, well, this means that you'll have a 20% book call rate and you'll have 54 calls on your calendar booked every single month. Now, we have over a 95% show up rate for our sales calls, but most people don't. Okay. And if you can get just 80% of them to actually show up, well, now you have 43 real live sales calls, money-making opportunities, conversion events where you're asking somebody for thousands of dollars on a monthly basis, right? 43 chances to do that in a single month. Okay. And if you close at the industry standard of about 30%, now you can take on 12 new clients on a monthly basis. Okay. So let's do the math here. All right. Guys, if you were to take on a client today, all right, if you were to take on a client today, how much would you charge them? Right? What would be the cash collected today? Put that in the chat for us, guys. And while you're putting that in the chat, I'll answer Dirk's question. You would have to tell Pepper which Facebook groups to fish in. Okay. So she'll fish in whatever Facebook group, and just all you have to do is go to the members tab, but you just direct her where you want to take her. Okay. But in the meantime, guys, go ahead and put in how much money would you take, would you collect if you were to take on a new client today? So 2,500 bucks. Okay. Hopefully. Yeah, we still got 36 people on here. Let's go, man.
Come on,
Guys,
folks.
how much money would you collect? How much money would you collect if you were to take on a client today? But we'll go with Dirk for now. Okay. So if we were to take on, if you charge us 2,500 and that's what you're going to collect, okay, in a single month, okay, you just times that right here. and we're adding an additional $30,000, okay, to your bottom line using the system. Okay, that's what this system will bring you, provided that these metrics work out. Okay. Now, what I like to do is, and what I normally like to do, and I don't know if we have the time to, but to give you as quickly as possible as I can, some tips to help you improve these metrics, because it's not just about lead flow. You see, what's important to understand is that for any client acquisition system to work, you need two things. You need quality lead flow coming in, but you also need to pair that with an effective sales process. So the leads, the idea behind Pepper is that you can get leads coming in, high quality leads coming in every single day, right? But if you don't have an effective sales process, right, then you're not going to be able to take on these clients. So these numbers have to work out. So Pepper is easy. It's no problem. Like, you're going to get the leads. Okay. But remember, what's important to note is that if you don't know how to take those leads and turn them into booked appointments, right, what happens to your sales? It will go down, right? If you're not good at closing deals, okay, right here, right, what happens there? Okay, it closes down. You can see how it's how important the sales process is. Okay, so I want you guys to focus on that. And it's not that, if you're not seeing the results or sales, whatever the case is, it's not leads. It's not leads. It's the sales process. That's the problem, right? So you have to focus on developing the skills that pay the bills. Okay. So, all right, let's move on here. So since then, guys, I've used this system to make over $3 million from my personal profile. That's how the $1 Million Organic Marketing System was born. Okay. So today, all you need is a Facebook profile and Pepper Infinity and a human, and you can have yourself a 7-figure business. Okay. So because when you don't have to focus on all of the boring admin work, you get to focus on leveling up your skills that pay the bills. And at this point, normally I would jump in and kind of help you out as much as I could there, but I think you guys would like to see the demo instead, right? So yeah, okay, we're gonna see the demo instead. Okay, so there we go. Okay, hopefully that was valuable up until this point. Let's run you through a quick demo on how it all works and answer any questions you guys might have. Okay, and Justin, maybe you can help me out with the chat here and help
Will
me
do.
just direct with
Yeah.
the questions.
Yeah, I'm taking all the questions, getting them noted for you. So if you want to jump
Perfect.
in first, and then once people get to see it, it might answer some of the questions that were coming in. And then
So
yeah.
First thing to understand is that Pepper is a Chrome extension, meaning that you can't use it on Safari, you can't use it on Microsoft Explorer, you can't use it on anything else but Google Chrome on your desktop, okay? And there is no mobile app to it. But the way that it works is that you would go into a Facebook group, okay? So we can choose, we were using High Level already, so let's just go there. So you go into a Facebook group, okay? And then you go into the Members tab. You have to join the group right here. Now, when you're in the members tab, there's a members that's going to pull up the 35,000 members that you have. There's also, if you scroll down, there's these different sections. Okay. And you don't have to worry about Pepper ever sending out a message or sending a friend request to admins and moderators. It automatically skips that for you. Okay. But if you go down to the members with things in common section, you can click on see all, and you can see how the URL changes right here. It says things in common. Okay. Now, I would highly recommend that you start out here. And the reason why is because these are the people that you have mutual friends with, okay? And what happens is when you're integrated into your network, right? So whether you're in the real estate space or whether you're in the contractor space, when you are integrated into that network, okay, and you start making friends with these people, then their network becomes your mutual friends as well, right? And then it starts to have this snowball effect for you. Okay. And then it gets them so much easier to accept your friend request. And when they accept your friend request, a couple of things happen. They start to see your content. They start to see your profile, right? Facebook will start to feed your content on their news feed. Okay. The other thing is your outbound message will go to the top of their inbox when you send them a message. Okay. So it's important to fish here first to start. Okay. So I've obviously used this one, right? So I'll just start it here in members. Okay. So you can see Pepper is right here, and this is the way it looks for now. It might, I don't know how old this video is when you're watching it, okay, for all of our replay viewers, it might look a little bit differently, okay, because we're constantly evolving and adapting and all these different things like that, right? So go to the help center if you need, like how does it work today? But this right here is going to give you an idea of how it all works, okay? So there's a find leads and a start chats button. So the find leads is where we're going to go into this group, okay? So if I'm going in, I've created a template that says for agencies. So if I click on here, It's going to open up my outbound messages. I can click on agencies right here, and you can see it's very simple for me to put in the keywords that I have right here. Okay, these are the keywords I'm going to be fishing. Remember those keywords we talked about in the members tab? We're fishing for agency and lead and online marketer, marketing, etc. Okay, and the negative keywords are keywords that I don't want to be attributed to this particular template. Why? Because the message is geared towards marketing agencies. Hey, do you run a marketing agency by chance? Okay, and that's what I'm saying here, right? And that's how it is. It takes you 3 minutes to set this up. Choose your keywords. You do some keyword research and go to the members tab and see how people are optimizing their profiles, and then put those keywords in so you can just click a button and get it started. Okay. What's really cool is that we can have high income countries only, right? So you don't have to worry about Pepper connecting you with people and starting conversations with people that are in third world countries. As we go on, we'll continue to refine this and then start to select, hey, if I wanted to only have US based residents or, so on and so forth, right? We'll be able to do that. But this is based off of what's publicly available information. Okay. So if you go on to their personal profile and they're telling you where their city or location is, right? That's what we're doing. Okay. And then you also have the ability to just send friend requests or before you send a message, or just send them an outbound message. Okay. The reason we do friend requests and sending them an outbound message is twofold. One is you get a little red notification icon when someone sends you a friend request. Okay. And that's good because when someone says that this person sends you a friend request, what are they doing? They're going to check out your profile. Okay. And that's what we want to happen. The other thing is that when we send an outbound message and you're not friends yet with this person, Messenger will actually send you, in most phones, a push notification. You probably have all seen this, where it says this person wants to send you a message. Okay. Now that goes into your message request folder, but there's a push notification on your phone that says this person wants to send you a message, provided that you have mutual friends, right? You have mutual friends. Okay. And it will send you, hey, this person wants to send you a message. You may know them, right? Open it up and you get to see the outbound message. If the outbound message has enough intrigue, they're going to respond back, and then you're going to check out your profile, and then you're going to engage in a conversation. Does that make sense? Did I explain that well?
Yeah, that sounded so. How many people would you say, because they can respond to the message without becoming a friend? Like, do you have any idea about like how many people just respond versus accept friend requests, or is it mostly like it's pretty much identical at that stage?
No, it's not. I wouldn't say it's identical. It's not
Okay.
identical, but I don't have data on
Okay.
how many become a friend request and how many respond to the message without becoming. I don't have that data.
Yeah.
But ultimately, what is the end objective? The end objective is to engage in a
Conversation.
conversation.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what we're looking for, is that response rate. So here in the members tab right here, all I have to do is click on this. I'm in my find leads section, right? You go home, you click on find leads. I'm in this find leads section. I choose my templates, right? Which is agencies. I know the keywords that I have in there. And then these are all the leads that I already have right now. Okay. But you can see like, yeah. So I can click on find leads, right? And then what's going to happen is that she's going to just go through this members tab right here. And then she's just going to get started. And then she's going to find them and find the people based off of those keywords. Okay. So we got 2 so far, right? And I fish in this group a lot, to be honest with you. So, but we have 3, it just continues, right? So we're at 6 now. Okay. And that's it. Right. And then I just keep it running. Now I clicked one button. Remember, 99% effectiveness, right? I clicked one button, and now I'm going to go have breakfast with my kids. Or where are we? Have lunch with my kids. You see what I'm saying? All right.
That's
and then
really
I
cool.
come back, and then that's where I'm gathering all these leads. Okay. It's very simple, just like that. Okay. So she's going down there and she's finding the keywords for me. The thing that I had to manually do with my thumbs, I no longer have to do, just a click of a button. Okay. The next piece is sending out the start chats, right? So when I click on this, let's go back to start chats right here. Now I choose which message template I want to be sending out the messages to. So let's say it was the agencies. Remember, we have a max of 30 messages that you're going to be sending out every day. Okay. So I do that, and then I click start chats. Again, just another button I click, and then I'm done. Right. So what's going to happen is that she's going to open up a tab in the background, Chris Casey. She's going to determine if this person is a high income country, and if they have a keyword match, send them out a friend request. And if they do, and if it's the right person, she's going to start a conversation with this person on my behalf. Okay. And what's cool is that we have timer intervals between activities, right? So this is Pepper, right? No hands. Okay. Pepper's opening this up, sending out that initial outbound message that we said. Good. Hey, Chris, personalized with his first name. Hey, Chris, good to meet you. You run a marketing agency by chance? Might have a decent opportunity for you if you still do. Okay. Sends the message. She'll automatically close it on her own. And then, and again, remember, I'm at lunch. You see what I'm saying? Right. And then she's sending out these messages. I come back. Okay. And then we've sent out 30 people, 30 outbound messages. And we've got 10 people, 12 people, 13 people responding back saying, sure, what you got. Right. And now all I have to do is pick up that conversation there. Right. And so you see here, it says Pepper will resume at 12:55 p.m. Right. It's a randomized timer down to the millisecond before she's going to take the next action to make sure that you don't get flagged on your account. Okay. So it's really, really, really powerful, guys. That's a quick demo for you to show you how it all works, right? But if we go into Messenger, we have a CRM that kind of helps you track these leads and conversations. You can see Chris Casey right here, new leads. Okay, he's that's the message that we sent out, right? Justin is a VIP, right? So see the tags that we have here, and the idea is that we're just moving people through the pipeline. Right now, to be honest with you, I have setters on my team and they're using Pepper to fill my calendar up. So I haven't really played with this in a long time. Okay. But so you can see that we have 682 leads, and that's why we have 4,000 people available to send messages to and all that stuff. Right. Another quick thing to note is we have canned responses here. We can go through and we can literally click a button. So if I click on this right here, you can see it automatically puts it in down here. I didn't have to type that out. Right. You see, I didn't have to type this out at all. Right. So once we have our script, we go through and then boom. And then all I have to do is edit it. Since you work with chiropractors, it would most definitely work for you. You're interested in learning a bit more? Just like that. And it allows you to have multiple conversations with a lot of people at once. Okay. So there it is, guys. That is the demo for Pepper. And one thing I was going to say right here, boom. Do you guys want Pepper Infinity for free?
My guess is that's going to be an absolute yes. I can't imagine, but everybody's been kind of weak on the chat game today, so who knows? But maybe they're just completely blown away. There we go, Mike. There we
Hell
go.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Free, of course. Okay, so you guys heard me say this at the very beginning, right? I was talking to Justin. Justin has a special link for you guys to have a 2-week free trial to Pepper Infinity. Okay, so you can go ahead, get started, get clients within that 2-week free trial before you ever pay a dime. Okay, it is an affiliate link that he has. Please click on it. Please go through him. It doesn't cost you anything extra if you were to go directly through my link or anything else and stuff like that. Just go through him. He introduced you to Pepper, and he brought us on here. Okay, so like go through his link. It's a free trial. It's no it's no risk, right? So yeah, this is awesome. So hopefully we did a good job at presenting this to you guys, and everyone's going to sign up to Pepper.
Fingers crossed. And then yeah, I'll make sure that that's also added into like the recording page as well as in the recording email in case like you miss it there. And for anybody that is listening as we're recording right now, you should also have access to that link. A few questions that came up, and we'll probably go a little over, like just as long as
I'm
we
actually
get some
proud
of the
of
questions
myself.
answered. You did, yeah, you blew
like
through that, man. That was awesome. Like really, really great stuff. And then even adding in that extra part about kind of like the resource side of things, like that to me, or the system, what's the name of that? The
systems reliability. Yeah.
Systems reliability. That was one that just like, that's my open loop for anybody that missed this dang call. Like that's a super great eye-opening thing. But a few of the questions I had here, one's like, you have some folks who like they like to keep Facebook private versus kind of like it's kind of like their personal account versus how they'd want to do things for prospecting and marketing. How can they use a tool like this? Do you have any recommendations for that, or is it just suck it up? You gotta kind of open it up.
Yeah, well, two ways to think about this. One is if you don't want to put out content like business content, okay, that is okay. So there's traffic, there's inbound traffic, and then there's outbound traffic.
Yeah.
Pepper's the outbound traffic. Your content is your inbound traffic, right? If you don't want to do any content, okay, for business purposes, all right, then that's fine. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to do that. You'll send out Pepper outbound messages, but you need to make sure that the script that you're using inside of Messenger actually has a really strong offer to get somebody onto a book call with you because they have nothing else to go off of. Okay, they have nothing else to go off of. So what that means is you're keeping your business life private publicly, like it's not available for anyone to see, but you can still be using Pepper to send individual messages with people. And so long as you seem like a cool person, just as a normal person on your profile, you can do that. So yeah, that's what I would suggest.
Okay. So yeah, like you'll have, it'll be a harder time if it's not optimized, like kind of like to have the content you need or kind of to go that route of the business side, but it's doable if you seem like a normal, like a normal, well-adjusted person that has a level of
You don't look like you
connection.
have like a brand new profile and it's like
Yeah,
a
exactly.
profile
Exactly.
scan or something like that. Yeah, you
Cool.
can do that. And just as a point of reference, I have 2 setters on my team that are using their personal profiles to book people on my calendar. So people aren't even seeing me at all, right? And so they're using their profiles and they just look like normal people.
Okay. Oh, that's also that's a good way to test it out as well. I like that suggestion. Because that was even some of the stuff because we've been slow to adopt Pepper, like just because for some of our businesses, like I'm the face of some of them, other people are, and it's just a whole, yeah, I should just message you and ask you more about that. Anyways, so another question folks had in here was like, what about the people that are like tough to find, like doctor, like or the harder people to reach, like doctors and dentists? Do you see that being hard to reach on Facebook as well, or are they in those types of groups that you're able to identify?
When we say hard to reach, do we mean like are they on the platform or are they busy, right? Because dentists and doctors and stuff like that, right? They're hard to reach when you're trying to cold call them, right? You have to go through paywalls, you have to do like gates and stuff like that, right? In order, not paywalls, you have to go through like gatekeepers, okay, in order to get in touch with them. And they're always busy, they're always in a meeting, they're always doing something, right? Yeah, okay, cool. They're human. There are doctors and dentists on Facebook watching the same videos that you are, right? And they're still on their social media platform, and then they're going to get a DM, and that's their private space. So you get to skip all the gatekeepers and go directly to them. So provided that there are Facebook groups where these people are hanging out in, then, and you can just easily check this, go into a Facebook group, go in the members tab, scroll down a little bit and say, click on somebody and it says doctor, it says dentist, open up their profile and says, hey, you know what? This actually looks like I would love to work with this person. If you have that ability to do that and find people on your own, then why would you do it on your own? Just use Pepper, and Pepper's going to find them for you.
Okay, very cool. A few more like kind of like process questions, or just really like how do you find the right types of groups? Because I guess one person, Brian, do you have any recommendations on how to find the right groups, and how do you deal with kind of groups that are private that you need to apply for? That's just kind of name of the, like, just gotta go through the process, or?
Yeah, so finding the right Facebook groups just comes down to being clever with just thinking out of the box a little bit. Go into the search on Facebook and then you just type in doctors, and then it'll give you different categories, and then you go to groups and then it'll say doctors, and then it'll give you like a whole bunch of groups around doctors in particular. And then you think outside of the box. And so for instance, me thinking outside the box with agencies and the coaches that I work with was High Level. Because why? That's a software that is specifically geared towards agencies. You see what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah.
And so you can think outside of the box in that way and just say, okay, is there a software maybe that these people are using, right? Like doctors would be using or be in that Facebook group, right? Or is there a influencer or books or something like that that they would be using, and is there somebody that they follow that has a Facebook group or something like that that is an influencer, and this doctor is teaching other doctors how to be a better doctor? Who knows, right? And then you jump into a Facebook group like that, and then there's a whole lot of people. They've already created a network, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a good call out. One thing I'd recommend, and this is what we used to teach people at Digital Marketer all the time, which was just doing like your customer avatar and customer avatar worksheet. And one of the things that you'll see is like, where do they hang out? What do they read? Who do they follow? That'll start giving you their in like kind of like your indirect competition of people that are kind of like taking their attention and then going to the places where they're giving that attention and finding groups that are associated like that. So it's a really, really solid way to do that. So yeah, don't just think, hey, I just want to find like people like they're like, I'm a doctor group. It's like, what are doctors also interested in that would kind of get them like are there any associations that they're a part of? Are there things like that? And then David had marked down, and so he said many groups will ban you if you start promoting your products. You're not going in and just pitching yourself.
That's what I did when I got kicked out. So yeah, that's not what I'm suggesting. And no one will ever even know. And don't do this mistake of saying, hey, I met you in the XYZ Facebook group. What's going on? Blah, 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 blah. That's how you get screenshotted. And that's how you get kicked out from a group. Okay. So instead, just say, hey, I came across your profile, right? I think one person out of a million messages that I've sent has ever said, well, how in particular did you come across my profile? You see what I'm saying? Right? Like no one cares.
Cool. So that's a good point. So yeah, two really good tips there. Don't go in there and start saying like and promoting yourself, like use the tool or go into manual DM mode. I don't know why you do that, why you want to do that. It's a lot of work. And then also don't say like found you in this group. I think that's a really, really good call out. So I think we can get one or two more questions in here because I want to be respectful of everybody's time. But any recommendations? Well, the first question was, do you have any templates for messages or like good types of messages to be sending out, or do you have any frameworks that you could share?
Yeah. So frameworks is okay. I'm going to give you a screenshot. So this is where I would have walked you through things really quickly.
Okay.
Normally. So, okay, cool. So this right here, take a screenshot of that, guys. Okay, because this is what I would have, talked about. Like this is the 90-minute portion of it. But this is right here. These are questions.
Are you trying to share your screen right now?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not even sharing my screen. Sorry.
Hey, Vlad, this one's for you. I'm calling you out on this one. This is your question. Be here for this one. Get ready to screenshot.
So everyone can take a screenshot of this really quickly. Okay. But this right here, you just put that up next to your desk or something like that, right? And you can hang it on your wall, whatever. Okay. But these are the questions you're going to be asking yourself when you are, so instead of like a script that I'm going to give you, because everyone's going to need to optimize it, I'm going to give you a framework on, and this is the exact framework that we've used to send over to sell over $3 million in marketing agency and consulting services. So the idea is that when somebody becomes a lead, you're sending them a message, right? That's Pepper found them as a lead. You're sending them a message. The goal then is to get them to respond back and to figure out, am I speaking to the right person? The second step is, okay, where do they want to go? Do they even want to grow the business, right? Some people don't, okay? So we have to say like, am I spending time with the right person, right? Do they even want to grow? The third is, okay, why haven't they? What's stopped them, right? And then generate interest. And there's a very powerful question you can ask inside of Messenger is, have you ever considered fill in the blank? Have you ever considered PPC to help you grow? Have you ever considered, anything, right? Like optimizing your website? Have you ever considered an in-person event? Have you ever considered hiring a coach, working with a marketing agency, you name it, right? To see, engage interest of where they are, okay? And then affordability. Now, at this level right here, you can go from lead, goal, pain, interest, straight to a booked call. We do that when we don't have a full calendar. We ask more qualifying questions to deter people that are not the right fit when we do have a booked calendar, because we want to be more picky. Okay. And then you jump into affordability and you're asking those questions. Okay. Can they afford your services? Right. And you're going to ask these things. And then urgency. Are they ready to rock right now? Is this a later thing for them? And then the ability is, hey, can anything hold them back? Decision makers need to be on the call, spouses, partners, et cetera, et cetera. Right. So the reason I put it in this way is because when you know why you're trying to say something, why you're saying something, then you can say it a million different ways. It doesn't matter. Follow the framework. Okay. Am I talking to the right person? Where are they trying to get to? Why haven't they been able to get there? What's been stopping them? Right. Have they considered this particular solution? Right. And then, hey, maybe it might make sense. Maybe it might make sense. You okay if I offer you a recommendation? Maybe we should just jump on a call and talk about how we are able to help you XYZ. Right. And then you're just navigating a quick conversation like that. So
awesome. That's great. And that's great. I love leaning back into frameworks versus actual scripts. Like I know sometimes people just want that silver bullet, but that silver bullet's not going to serve you forever. Like frameworks are the way to go, and it's going to make you feel way more authentic as well as you're trying to build these things out. Last question we have on this is from Carl. Would you suggest optimizing your Facebook profile before starting? And then do you have any suggestions for kind of like profile optimization?
I have a lot of suggestions for Facebook profile optimization. That's
part of
that's part of the webinar. That's part of this, right? But I guess framework, right, that you want to get across when you're optimizing your Facebook profile is at a glance, because no one owes you anything. What are we trying to do? Everyone is going to make a first impression judgment, right? You don't get a second chance to make a first impression. Okay. So everyone is going to, as much as they don't say they judge by book by its cover, okay, they do. All right. So when you're sending out a friend request and when you're sending out a message where they're going to get that message request, they're going to check out your profile, and then they're only going to give you 3 seconds. They're going to give you 3 seconds to figure out, where are you in relative to them? Okay. Are you a badass authority? Okay. That they can learn from and all right. Or are you way better, way more and stuff like that? This person is just like desperate and cold and all these different things. Okay. So you make that determination in 3 seconds, or rather they make that determination in 3 seconds by way of how your Facebook profile is optimized. So 3 things you want to do right away. Like these are the things you want to cover and just say, check, check, check. Okay. First thing is be very clear on who you help and what you do for them. Okay. Be very clear on who you help, number 1, and what you do for them. Okay. Your service specialty. And then number 3, that you're one of the best in the world at it. Okay. And anyone can spend 20 bucks, 25 bucks on Fiverr and make themselves look like best in the world. Okay. With your Facebook profile. And think of it this way. If I said I was going to buy a $10,000 billboard, the biggest billboard on the busiest highway in your home city, and I was going to pay for it for the whole month, and I was going to spend 10 grand, all you have to do is put whatever you wanted on there. What would you do? Would you design it yourself? Would you go to Canva? No, you wouldn't, right? So you would go and find someone that can design it and make it look awesome. Facebook cover photo is your billboard, okay? Where your dream clients are going to be hanging in. Pepper is going to be the traffic, okay?
That's amazing. Really great parallel that you put there.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much. Appreciate you, and have a great rest of your day, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Bye.